All right, guys, how's it going? My name is Bobby O'Brien. We're here with Chris, one of my clients who I'm sure you've heard about, lost 36 pounds in 3.5 months. Saw some amazing progress. We concluded in about mid-November. We started working together mid-July, I believe. And where are you at? If you don't mind me asking, Chris, where are you at now in terms of your weight? Did you end up breaking 200 or did you get really close to like 190? Where are you at right now?
Uh, I dropped down to 200, so I'm at 200 flat right now.
Okay, awesome. That's very, very good. Excellent. So, yeah, so when you started, you were right about, so we started working together in about July, like mid-July or so. I think right when you started, you were right about it. I think give or take. You can take this over too if you want to start talking about your own journey and things like that. But I think we started you out around like 236, 238, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like 238. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Awesome. Well,
right.
very cool. Sweet. Yeah. And just to kind of get things started, do you mind just kind of like telling us a little bit more about yourself and who you are and how we got started working together?
Yeah, yeah. Um, so before I met Bobby, I just started. I would say doing what everyone else would normally do. Just start uh not eating as much bread and trying to go to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week. Um, and it worked. It worked for a little while. I started off my journey at 268, and then when I met Bobby, I was at 238. So a little bit of just normal habits um, worked for me for a couple pounds, but then I started to plateau for almost a month, and I couldn't get any results. So I started looking into what kind of diets I could try. And I was like, man, I really don't want to do keto. I really don't want to do uh, some vegan or something like that. And so that's when I stumbled upon carnivore. Um, and I was like, well, I can eat bacon, eggs every day. That's no problem.
Yeah.
So I started watching a couple of doctors on Instagram and on YouTube and really studying about it. And then I started following Dr. Ken Berry. He puts out a lot of good pointers on do's and don'ts in the carnivore diet. And that's how I ran into Bobby. And Bobby was able to answer a lot of those questions that I couldn't get personally in contact with Ken with, because Ken is a superstar um, dietitian doctor. So he's got a lot going on in his life. So um, Bobby filled that gap perfectly, and filling out meal plans and getting into a workout that isn't something half cocked like I have been doing. It's been able to give me a full schedule and full plan, and a very good plan that's not always the same thing every week. It kind of keeps you on your toes, so you're not bored at the gym, I would say. Um, it's a good mixture of rotations through weeks. So yeah, that's my story.
Yeah, that's solid, man. And it's a really cool story too, because most people, like on average, like, typically whenever I start working with somebody, it fluctuates like with their first month or second month. Some people will lose 5 pounds in their first month, other people will lose like 15, but to lose 10 in your first month, and then not only to just lose 10, but to continue to, lose weight at that rate was really, really impressive. And Chris was really easy to work with too. Like just whatever we threw at him, he was really open-minded to just apply it into his lifestyle and just do it consistently. Was really good at asking questions, and whenever he needed some help, he asked for it and just completely took advantage of all the resources that he had at his disposal, and the results speak for themselves. And yeah, like I'm sure you can dive into this a little bit. We started out with a carnivore diet with what he was already doing. I thought that was a really good fit for him, but we just made a few fine tweaks to it just to make it a little bit more sustainable and make sure that he was doing it in the right way to where he can continue to see the results that he was already seeing, but maybe more at a sped up rate, right? So we cut a few things
Yeah.
out. We included a few other extra things, and then towards the end, started doing more of like a animal based style diet where we started to include carbohydrates slowly. First week was about 20 grams, I believe, and then second week we saw that he was still losing weight. We scaled it up to 50 grams, and I'm sure now that you're probably falling around like maybe 75 to 100 grams per day or so, Chris, or would you say it's a little bit less than that?
Um, Grams of protein.
Or carbohydrates like fruits and
Oh,
vegetables?
carbohydrates. Um, yeah. Yeah. Right now, I mean, I had my birthday like a week or two ago, and then the Thanksgiving. So yeah, I've been definitely higher in the carbohydrates.
Yeah, me too.
Stuffing, stuffing, mashed potatoes with butter, and gravy. Yeah, it's been a little bit high in the carbohydrates. I'm hoping that next week I can get back to a normal carbohydrate level and hopefully get back into the groove of weight loss.
Yeah. And like on a day-to-day basis, whenever Thanksgiving or your birthday or anything, any of those things aren't around, like on a typical day, like how many grams of carbohydrates are you eating now? Like the main reason I'm asking this question is because, most people would go on a carnivore diet, ketogenic diet, and they feel like they have to do it forever, when really you can do it short term and then kind of transition. So
Yeah.
like on a normal day when you're like trying to eat pretty good, like what would like a normal like carbohydrate intake look like for you? Would it be like 75 grams, like 100? What does it
Um,
look like?
I would say, yeah, I would say uh, like 70 to 80 grams, somewhere in that range.
Okay, solid, very good. Yeah, and once again, main reason we point that out is because like a lot of people will get worried and think they have to do a diet like a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet forever. But you can transition and once again, everyone's different. There's some people that can just go straight into doing an animal-based diet with Chris. I saw, just from the physiological vantage points that it probably would be best to just do carnivore and then just slowly transition. And it worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like, you started touching on the program a little bit earlier, like the workouts and the meal plan and things like that. What do you feel like was the biggest thing that kind of like propelled you to, get out of that plateau and start seeing the consistent, weight loss, day in and day out? If you had to like
What I
pick something.
what I really liked about your whole program was having the app on your phone and then being able to log your weight. And so if you're going to like pick up, like say, let's just say, for example, we're doing incline dumbbell bench. Well, I can see that 2 weeks ago I did this much weight, and then the following week I tried to come up 5 pounds. And so, what am I going to do this week? I'm going to try and go 10 pounds more, or stay down at that that 5 pound range higher. And I liked having it all logged. So super simple and easy in the app. It made life a lot easier than having to carry around a notepad and write it all down while you're there at the gym. It gives you good uh, like it's kind of like you're competing against yourself. You're like, well, you want to get better and better every week. And so it gives you a good like a good edge on yourself of uh, building yourself up.
Yeah,
I'd
like
say,
almost having your own form of structure, like week to week.
yeah,
Yeah. No, that's solid, man. Yeah, because I feel like that's another, and you can touch on this more as well, but I feel like that's one big thing that people lack whenever they're like staying stagnant for a long time is they don't really have structure, like they don't really have a vision. Like they just go to the gym and everything's just, free range, a big free for all, and they don't really have like any analytics in terms of what they did the week before, and then they don't really know exactly what to do. And you already came in with some really good experience from like a physical standpoint, but we just kind of dialed that in a little bit more and kind of gave you like a full viewpoint. So it was good. And the thing is, like, once again, like Chris is like just so much fun to work with because there was no like strings attached or anything. Like he was just super open minded, and like those are the people that really see the best results like Chris did. Because like there's been a lot of people that I've worked with in the past. Been doing this for many years now, and there's people that just don't are really just closed-minded and just don't want to follow the process, and then they just don't see results. But I thank you for trusting in me, and because I know there's some workouts in there that are a little unconventional, a few things with the meal plan that you tweak that you may have questioned at times, but just trusting in the process really helped, and just allowed you to see those consistent results. So I'm really happy to just even be a part of it. So just to kind of talk about things from like the dietary perspective, like what do you feel like from that vantage point, from that viewpoint, was the like the what stood out to you, like from the meal plan or the recipes? Like what do you feel like really propelled you from like a dietary standpoint with the nutrition side of it?
Um, I mean, just having all those questions answered like immediately is very straightforward. Like if I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner tonight, and I'm looking through all my meat and stuff, I can really decide on um, what's there or not there, just off that PDF, um, on what uh, I could or should be eating. It's very simple to look at and digest.
Yeah, solid, man, very solid. Yeah, the meal plan's good. So, and you also like touch on the support a little bit too, and like going to restaurants, and that's one thing that people really like struggle with. They like go out to eat and they don't want to be the odd one that's left out. They also like may want to eat good but don't know exactly what they should dial in. And that's what we would do on certain weekends. So Chris would message me and tell me that he was hitting up a Mexican restaurant. So then I would basically tell him exactly what he should be doing, different options that would be good, getting side orders of vegetables, carne asada, and giving him different options for, main courses. Cause, it's one thing just to say to exclude something, but to have a solution for that exclusion, whatever you're excluding, really allows you to take off, which I'm sure you can agree with, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I would say carnivore diet is probably the easiest diet to do while going out. Um, Everywhere you go has got meat.
Yeah.
You're doing like a vegetarian diet, it's going to be kind of hard to do, I would say. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's not one place you can't go to. You can't not get meat. So, um, so yeah, that worked out really well for me. I work mostly on the road, so um, is super easy for me to just stop by basically McDonald's or Arby's or um, Chipotle and pick up meat or whatever, um, meat or veggies.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's like, it kind of goes hand in hand with going to the gym and not having a plan, like when you have like a structured plan, it helps because, when you're on the road and you're on the go and all you have is like McDonald's or Arby's, like you mentioned, people will feel like they just need to order whatever and just almost give up because they don't really know that they can actually get something that's somewhat healthy. It's not going to be, the like some organic grass finished meat from the Himalayas, but it'll at least be something that's going to give you a good hormonal response. So that's what we did. And yeah, and once again, the results speak for themselves. So just a few more questions, Chris. Like, what do you like did just want to ask you, because most people will like go into this and they feel like, whenever they have a really big goal, such as losing like 40, 60 pounds, or even 100 pounds, they feel like, it's like such a big vision that it's almost not visible to them. Did like whenever you first started like working with me, did you feel like, this was an attainable goal, like losing 36 to 40 pounds, or did you feel like, this is no issue, I'll be able to blow through this, no problem? Like, were you surprised that you were able to lose the weight the way you did?
Um, uh, I would say yes and no. I mean, uh, I mean, I figured for sure the carnivore diet, after doing all the research, would definitely be a game changer. and the weight loss. Um, but I didn't expect like as much muscle growth to come from it. Like I felt like a lot of my muscle was able to grow through the program, um, because a lot of my workouts before were just like all the same workouts just over and over and over again in a three-peat, like a 3 day repeat cycle. So uh,
Mhm.
being able to change it up, like, and do different workouts, like I was able to like discover muscles I didn't know I had to begin with.
Yeah,
So yeah.
exactly. No, yeah, yeah, and there's so many different like exercises you think that would, like an overhead extension, for example, like people don't even know that you have like a third layer in your tricep that you can like fully isolate with one movement. And those things really do like go a really long way. And it just all comes back to like just having that structure to be able to apply that every single week, because if you don't, you're going to be spending, long hours, behind the computer researching or watching YouTube videos or watching some Sam Sulek, trying to figure, which, it's all good. But it's just going to take some time, to actually like figure out, okay, like I'm doing arms today. How do I actually target each and every layer of my bicep and my tricep as well, just inside one session, and do it in a way that's consistent, but mix it up. And that's what we're able to do for him. And if you do that, week in and week out, and you make the adjustments that we did on the road whenever you're eating out at restaurants, or whether even to eat fast food, there's no way that you can lose. And yeah, that's how it went. So awesome. So also, like, how nice was it for you too, to actually like transition into eating like carbohydrates again, whenever, like, because we did carnivore for like 2.5 months or so, and then like the last month and a half we started to transition into eating more natural sourced carbohydrates, so we can build up your what's called your glucose tolerance, right? Because if your body don't see carbohydrates for like 3 or 4 months, and then all of a sudden you eat 100 grams per day, boom, you're going to accumulate all this body fat very quickly, because you're very insulin sensitive physiologically. But that's why we did 20 grams per day. Were you like a little like on the fence with that, or like were you? I remember you were a little bit, but was there
Yeah,
anything in the
I
back
was
of your mind that was scaring you about that?
yeah, I was really scared that like, I mean, if anyone ever goes on carnivore diet, you'll notice um you'll have some bowel movements, and you're like, well, there goes all my there goes all my weight right there, and well that bowel movement I just had. So well, you think, oh, so now I'm gonna put in some fiber in my system. Now my body's gonna grab onto that fiber and hold it on, and I'm going to be gaining weight again. But that didn't seem to be the case at all. I kept going down in weight, even though we were reducing carbs. Um, so, uh, but yeah, I was scared for a while about just gaining like a couple pounds back. Um, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and you always notice at least a little bit of a weight gain, even if you are eating like as low as like 10 to 20 grams of carbohydrates, if you reintroduce them, just because of the water composition. But that's what's nice about having like a like structured coach, just to make sure that you're actually meeting your requirements, while still being able to lose weight. Because I believe that when we made that transition, you were hanging around, a little bit above like 210, like 212 or 213, I believe. Is that right?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 I
And then,
stuck around the 10 to 12 area for a little bit.
yeah. Yeah. So then, and I've uploaded this before, but we ended up getting you to, I think it was like mid-November to like right around like 200, which was probably, I think you told me this is the lowest you've been in a long time. And and once again, we made that transition, when he was hanging around 212, like 213, with carbohydrates. And by the time you hit 200 pounds, I think maybe even got a little bit below that, we didn't measure it. But still, like at that point, we're eating around like 70 to sometimes even 100 grams of carbohydrates per day. So to any of you that once again, like, and this is like really, really big. I can't stress this enough. Like if you're on a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet, you really can go back into eating, carbohydrates again. It really is all about that transition. And I think me being able to be there for Chris really helped with that transition. So very cool. I just got one more question, Chris. What would you like say to anyone who's like on the fence about joining the program? Like, they see the benefits from it. They want like more of a personalized approach and they just want to like speed track their weight loss, but there's just like a few things like holding them back. Like what would you say to those people that are like hanging on the fence and but really do want to see results now?
I would just say just try it. I would just try it for a month. Just try it for a month and see if it works for you. Um, I mean, that's how I started in this. I was like, man, I don't know about this. I don't know if it's gonna work. And uh I committed to it and I did it for the whole month and just followed the plan exactly. And what I lost like what 10 or 15, 10 to 12 pounds in that 1 month. It was crazy. It was definitely not like anything that I would see on my own if I was trying to do this. Um, so having that that partner to help keep you motivated and keep you accountable is very good. It's yeah, the accountability and knowing that you have somebody that's like I wouldn't say like putting pressure on you because Bobby was not putting pressure.
Like to work with an online coach. And that's why I wanted to make this video too, just so you can like get that perspective from somebody who has like completed the program and not only just completed the program, but saw amazing results in a short period of time, just literally checked every single box. So thank you for doing that, Chris. And thank you for doing this interview, bro. I hope you're doing well. I hope you do have a great rest of your Thanksgiving and Christmas. And yeah, let me know if you got any more questions. Yeah, very cool. Well, awesome. Thank you guys for watching the video today, and I will see you guys later.